Listen, you know what people fear more than failure, more than pain, more than hard work? Starting from zero. Yeah, that empty place, that place with no momentum, no reputation, no skills, no validation, no proof that you're capable of anything. People are terrified of being a beginner, terrified of being inexperienced, terrified of looking small, terrified of being judged. But you know what's worse than starting from zero? Staying there, staying average, staying weak, staying stuck, staying exactly where you are because you'd rather protect your ego than build your future. Let's get something straight right now. Every warrior starts at zero. Every champion starts clueless. Every disciplined savage starts unprepared, unskilled, unpolished, and unknown. There is no Kuzin one, but there is no genetic destiny road. There is only the grind. Starting from zero is not a curse, it's a gift, because zero is honest, pure. Zero is the one place where you can't hide behind excuses or pretend to be something you're not. Zero exposes you, and exposure forces growth. But most people never take the first step because they're waiting for confidence, waiting for clarity, waiting for signs, waiting for someone to tell them they're ready. You want the truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to validate you. Nobody is coming to give you permission. If you want to go from zero to unstoppable, there's only one move. Start anyway. Start unready. Start scared. Start inexperienced. Start with whatever you have, because the moment you start, the moment you take that first step, you're not at zero anymore, and that terrifies your excuses. Good, let them be terrified. This is your rise, your beginning, your transition from nothing to unstoppable. Let me tell you a secret most people don't want to hear. Having nothing is one of the biggest advantages you'll ever have. Yeah, you heard that right. When you have nothing, you have no distractions. No comfort to cling to, no reputation to protect, no expectation weighing you down, no comfort zone acting like a cage. You are free, free to fail, free to learn, free to grow faster than the people who already TNK they're ahead. People at the top get soft, they get complacent, they start protecting their spot instead of improving. But you're hungry, you're unproven, you're dangerous. That's the mindset that built monsters. Think about every great leader, warrior, athlete, or creator you admire. None of them started in the spotlight. None of them had certainty. None of them had some magical advantage. They started at zero, just like you. So stop complaining about where you are. Stop whining that it's core. Stop acting like being at zero is some kind of curse. Zero is your foundation. Zero is your launch pad. Zero is the clean slate where you get to build the strongest version of yourself without the weight of who you used to be. But here's the catch. Most people waste their zero. They sit on it. They cry about it. They compare it to someone else's chapter 50. They convince themselves they should already be better. That's weakness. If you're at zero, go. Now we get to build something from scratch, something real, something forged in discipline, not luck. Something unstoppable, but only if you decide to start. And starting is the hardest part, because the beginning is where the doubt is loudest. The fear is strongest. The excuses multiply. But hear me clearly, if you can conquer the beginning, you can conquer everything. Let's break something down right now. People think success begins with opportunity. It doesn't. Success begins with a decision, not a dream, not a wish, not a someday, a decision. A moment where you stop negotiating with your weakness, stop delaying, stop pretending you'll start later, and say, enough. I'm done being who I've been. That decision, that's the birth of unstoppable. That's the ignition switch. That's the moment zero begins to fracture. Because up until that point, you've been coasting, letting life happen, letting circumstances steer you, letting excuses guide your choices. You've been reacting instead of leading. But the exact second you make the decision to rise, the game changes. You stop waiting for the perfect plan. You stop craving motivation. You stop relying on comfort. You start moving. You start acting. You start taking responsibility for every single part of your life. And responsibility, that's the fuel of transformation. Look, you will never become unstoppable by being passive. You will never become unstoppable by hoping things work out. You will never become unstoppable by sitting on the sidelines whining about your disadvantages. Unstoppable begins the moment you OWN everything, your effort, your discipline, your failures, your progress, your mission. You want to rise? Then stop waiting for circumstances to approve your rise. Approve it yourself. Sign off on your own climb. Start now. Because the longer you wait to make the decision, the stronger your zero becomes. Zero becomes heavy. Zero becomes comfortable. Zero becomes a place you get used to, a place you don't escape from. Don't let that happen. Decide today. Right now. Tieci des moi, oni kan fiachi TFRU. Going from zero to unstoppable is not about luck. It's not about talent. It's not about being gifted. It's not even about motivation. It's about discipline. And discipline is war. War against your excuses. War against your comfort. War against your laziness. War against your fear. War against your old identity. The version of you that wants to stay the same. No one can fight that war for you. Not your friends. Not your family. Not your mentors. Not your favorite motivational speaker. Discipline is a solo mission. Yeah, others can encourage you. They can point you in the right direction. They can push you. But the reps, the work, the daily grind, that's on YOU. You win that war in the early morning hours when the alarm hits and you want to stay in bed. You win that war when you're tired and the world gives you a dozen excuses to slack off. You win that war when nobody is watching and you still execute anyway. That's what separates the unstoppable from everyone else. Most people start strong and die out fast. They want results, not discipline. They want speed, not consistency. They want attention, not growth. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. It's repetition. It's patience. It's choosing long-term strength over short-term comfort. And here's the truth. Discipline is the bridge between zero and unstoppable. If you don't build that bridge, you stay stuck on the shore forever. You want to cross it. Good to understand this discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being relentless. Miss a day. Fine. Win the next one. Slip up. Fine. Correct it immediately. Feel weak. Fine. Show up anyway. That's the war. That's the grind. That's the cost. And if you're willing to pay it, nobody will recognize the version of you that emerges on the other side. THE break THEOLDO. Listen carefully, because this is the part most people will never reach. Not because it's complicated, but because it's uncomfortable. This is where you confront the old version of yourself. Not with hate, not with excuses, not with pity, with truth. And truth hits hard. Here's the truth. You can't become unstoppable if you keep dragging the old you along like dead weight. You can't rise if you're still loyal to your weakness. You can't evolve if you're still protecting your comfort zone like it's some kind of treasure. You want to change, then you better understand this. Every transformation begins with a betrayal. You betray who you were yesterday. Because the old you, he's soft, he's undisciplined, he's inconsistent, he's emotional, he's lazy when it matters and loud when it doesn't. He wants fast results. He wants recognition. He wants comfort. You want to be unstoppable. Then you better kill those habits before they kill your potential. I'm going to tell you something most people can't accept. But you're not most people, right? Your biggest enemy isn't the world. It isn't your circumstances. It isn't bad luck. Your biggest enemy is the version of you that refuses to grow. That voice that says, it's too early, you're tired, you worked hard yesterday, you deserve a break, start again next week. That voice is a liar. It will sabotage your entire future if you let it. So what do? You stand in front of the mirror, metaphorically or literally, and you say, you had your chance, you had your time, but this is where your story ends. A new version is taking over, and then you follow through with discipline, with consistency, with ruthless commitment. Breaking the old you is not about motivation. It's not about feeling hype. It's not about waiting for the perfect day. It's about action daily, non-negotiable. Whether you feel like it or not, you break the old you by starving his habits and feeding the new ones. Instead of procrastination, do you act? Excuses, gay, you execute. Emotional reactions, do you choose discipline? Complaining, gay, you solve. Quitting, gay, you endure. This is the formula, not complicated, just hard. But hard is where the growth is. You want to become unstoppable. Then you need to understand your old self isn't supposed to survive this journey. Let him go. Burn the bridge behind you. Move forward with no retreat, no backup plan, no maybe later. This is the moment. This is the shift. This is where you stop being a spectator and become the force that changes everything. Start now. DISCPLINTHENGN, OFTEACHUNST OPA BLI. Now we're getting into the real core. The part everyone wants the shortcut for, but there is no shortcut. There never was. If you want to go from zero to unstoppable, understand this discipline is the engine. Everything else is decoration. Talent doesn't matter. Motivation, it fades. Confidence, it's unreliable. Inspiration, temporary. But discipline is the one thing that doesn't betray you. The world can fall apart. People can turn their backs on you. Your plans can get wrecked. Your emotions can crash. Your motivation can disappear. But if you have discipline, you still move. You still show up. You still grind. You still execute, because discipline isn't emotional. It's not reactive. It doesn't negotiate. Discipline is a contract you sign with yourself. A contract you never break. I'll tell you why this matters. Every unstoppable person you admire, every champion, every leader, every powerhouse, they didn't become great because they felt good. They became great because they were disciplined when they felt bad, when they were tired, when they were stressed, when they had doubts, when everything around them said, quit. They didn't stop. And that's why they won. Here's a fact most people never face. The difference between average and unstoppable is not skill. It's self-control. Self-control when you want to quit. Self-control when you want to argue. Self-control when you want to sleep in. Self-control when you want to skip the work. Self-control when life tries to pull you off the path. Discipline gives you power, real power. The power to say, no, I don't care how I feel. This is the mission. I do it anyway. And once you get that power, you're dangerous. Dangerous to your excuses. Dangerous to your weaknesses. Dangerous to everyone who doubted you. Dangerous to every version of yourself that held you back. Because discipline doesn't just build a stronger body. It builds a stronger mind, a sharper spirit, a focused purpose. That's why people look at the disciplined and say, hey, he's different. Yeah, different because he chose to be. And now I'm telling you, you can choose it too. But don't expect it to be easy. Don't expect applause. Don't expect understanding. Don't expect comfort. Expect resistance. Expect struggle. Expect doubt. Expect fatigue, and push through anyway, because that's how you go from nothing to unstoppable. Not by dreaming, not by wishing, by discipline in the dark when nobody is watching. This is where you earn it. In the early mornings, in the long nights, in the moments where the weak version of you begs for mercy. Don't give him any. This is your rise. This is your turning point. This is where discipline turns you into something people didn't see coming. And when they finally see it, when they see the new you, the unstoppable you, they'll say it happened overnight. But you will know the truth, it didn't happen tonight. It happened every single night you didn't quit. THER, in progress. Let's talk about something most people run from: pain. Not the physical kind, the kind that lives in your mind. The kind that whispers, this is too much. The kind that makes you question why you ever started. Here's the truth, pain is not your enemy. Pain is the process. Pressure is not a punishment. Pressure is a privilege. Difficulty isn't a sign you're on the wrong path. Difficulty is proof you're exactly where you need to be. People want a breakthrough without resistance, a transformation without discomfort, a new identity without sacrifice. Impossible. The path from zero to unstoppable is paved with things you don't want to do, but must do. You will face days where everything feels heavy, where the world seems against you, where your mind tries to drag you backward, where old habits try to claw their way back into your life. That's not a signal to quit. That's a signal you're breaking limits. You think champions don't feel that? You think disciplined people wake up every day excited and inspired? No, they feel the same pressure you do. They feel the same doubts you do. They face the same storms. The difference, they don't retreat. They stand in the pain. They lean into the pressure. They use it as fuel to sharpen themselves. Because pain is a teacher. Pressure is a sculptor. Discomfort is a training partner. Everything you avoid is exactly what you need. When you feel the weight of life pushing down on you, don't ask, why me? Ask ye, what is this building in me? Strength, patience, resilience, control, discipline. Pressure makes diamonds, but only if you don't run from it. So don't run. Stand your ground. Take the hit. And step forward again. This is how you grow. Not in peace, but in battle. Not in comfort, but in challenge. Not in silence, but in storms. Zero to unstoppable doesn't happen in perfect conditions. It happens when the conditions are terrible, and you keep moving anyway. T.H. Ricey. Damamienta WRLD stars TO no IFA. Let's fast forward. You've been disciplined, you've been consistent, you've been fighting old habits. You've been showing up when no one else sees. Then something starts to happen. Small wins, subtle changes, tiny victories. You start moving better, thinking better, responding better. You're sharper, stronger, more focused. You begin carrying yourself differently, not with ego, but with intent. People around you feel it before they understand it. They say things like, you seem different. What changed? You're more focused. You're on another level, man. They'll think it happened suddenly. They'll think it's luck. They'll think you got some secret advantage. Let them think that. You know the truth. You built this brick by brick, rep by rep, choice by choice, day after day, when no one clapped, when no one watched, when no one believed. This rise is earned. Momentum shifts. This is where the path clears. This is where the world begins to realize you're not the person they used to know. You're not average anymore. You're not living on autopilot. You're not waiting for motivation. You're not hoping for change. You created change. This is the moment your discipline becomes visible. This is when the unstoppable version of you steps into the light. But don't get comfortable. This isn't the finish line. This is the preview. Because the true rise, the real shift, the undeniable transformation, it happens in the next step when you execute the final part of this journey. THUS-PABL, Verso off Yoa. Listen closely, because this is the part that stays with you long after the video ends. The journey from zero to unstoppable is not some motivational fantasy. It's not magic. It's not destiny. It's not luck. It's choice. A choice you make today and every single day after. The choice to stop waiting, stop wishing, stop blaming, stop hiding behind excuses, stop negotiating with weakness. The choice to get up, to move, to act, to push, to fight, to discipline yourself. Because discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from weakness. Freedom from fear. Freedom from the old you. You want to become unstoppable? Then listen carefully. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to build your life. No one is coming to drag you to your potential. It's on you. Only you. Always you. You want a better body. Earn it. You want a stronger mind. Train it. You want discipline. Practice it daily. You want confidence. Build it through action. You want success. Work for it long after others get tired. This is your mission, your mountain, your transformation. And when you finally reach that peak, when you look back at the journey, you'll realize something powerful. The old you, the weak you, the undisciplined you, he never stood a chance, because discipline won, consistency won, ownership won, you won. This is the moment, right here, right now. You make the decision. You draw the line. You step into your new identity, not tomorrow, not after things calm down, not one day. Today, get up, move, execute, rise from nothing, from zero, from the bottom. Rise until there is no version of you left except the one forged in discipline, pressure, and relentless action. Rise until the world looks at you and says, he's unstoppable, because that's exactly what you are becoming. Now finish what you started. No excuses. Start now.